pile. No, it's a lot lower.
Some sand, we need some sand, to put around his leg.
Yeah, we got plenty.
May I be a little bit lower?
Yeah. Bounce from the same side?
Yeah, very good.
Bounce same side?
Yeah. It's not that bad, huh?
About the same distance.
After that, Fontaine, you can play with the shadows. You see what I mean? With the sun here, or without.
I think he listens. He likes to collaborate. He knows what he wants. Just like any good director that I've worked with, he knows the story. He knows the emotional arc of the story. Gentle in his approach of giving suggestions or notes. He's just so I really enjoyed working with him that way. Every day you get up and you're glad that you're going into a place where some kind of like creative petri dish. That it's like you don't know what's going to happen on that day. So.
I didn't know her backstory until I started talking to Arno about her, and they're some of the things that he told me. And what's evident is that his preparation and attachment to this project is so astonishingly thorough. It gives you a lot of faith as a performer to know that that's in place.
And I think Arno's a great director. In his own right, he's just absolutely a joy to watch. It's a joy to watch his face. I mean, his face alone is. He looks like he's got the movie going on inside his head when he talks, and it communicates. The vibes communicate.
He's just amazing. He's like a film monk. That's how I feel. I feel like he's got this wisdom and this gentleness and this quietness, and I love his reaction when he really likes a take. When you're down to the part where he's satisfied, he'll do one of these, cut! And he's so excited about it.
I've been very, very fortunate with the crew. Dina Goldman, our production designer, has been terrific. David Robinson, our costume designer, has been terrific. The AD department we hired, it was really important to me that people on that level knew who Arno was and cared. I mean, unfortunately, he's not the kind of household name I think he will become after this film. But so having the creative team around him really, really care about him and his vision was key for me in terms of making this film and producing this film in the United States.
It's an incredible feeling to be close to somebody who's that much into their art. Nothing really matters. It's even outside of work, dinner is just another opportunity to talk about the script and the project. Everything else is a distraction. It's like, you want to go to the movies? No, we can't talk about the script there.
Perhaps one of the things that I like the most about the story is that it doesn't go in a straight line. The guy doesn't get better. There's ups and downs. And how to deal with the ups and downs, which we all have in life. And I think that the story and Matthew and Arno, they both wanted to make that part of the emotional journey of the movie, and which makes it for me interesting. That it's not like the guy gets well and he lives happily ever after. At the end of the film, Matthew's character basically says something along the lines, you have to learn how to deal with drawbacks will happen, and you have to analyze them and think about them. First of all, I've met Matthew a few times in France before. I think he's a great actor. He's worked with Arno before. They had a very different relationship than my relationship with Arno. I was always raising my hand. Matthew and Arno, they had their own code. Like a wink meant something.
They have a relationship which we can only benefit from. They know each other incredibly well professionally, and that foundation helps us all get a head start, a jump start. And they have a gentility about them. I don't mean like so, I mean just a very gentle, calm approach to inviting you into their world. It's good.
Yeah, well, I feel like the Michigan part of the shoot, though, went extremely well. And what we got there, we probably wouldn't have gotten in Kansas. Because we got a hospital that we could own and do whatever we want with. And at the end, it looked amazing on screen. But I feel like the Montana part of the shoot is what's gonna set the tone of the movie. Just because the Michigan part, we mostly had our interiors and closed, intimate conversations and stuff like that. And here in the Montana shots and the Montana scenes are going to completely open it to these huge vistas that are going to create a really nice contrast between the two and really help the storytelling.
The research was so fascinating because you look at the pictures and it's just a conglomeration of all kinds of things. And also you have so many different economic groups within the tribe, because you have people who live in sod huts, and then you have people who live on hundreds and thousands of acres ranches. So you have people from very different economic situations within the reservation, and they're all at the dance. So you have someone in a nice suit, and next to them someone in a overalls and a ranch coat and a fly rag, looking like they just stepped out of a Western.
The Blackfeet tribe has been so welcoming and so helpful with everything. So many people from the tribe have been in the movie, including some of their medicine men, and it's been amazing.
Right, my name is Marvin Weatherwax. I'm a Blackfeet Indian. I'm from Browning, Montana. I teach at the Blackfeet Community College. And the courses I teach are the Blackfeet language. I teach 6 levels of the Blackfeet language, and also philosophy, history, and the culture of the Blackfeet. Browning is the main community on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation. Has a population of about, maybe 2,500 to 3,000. The reservation itself has a population of 17,000. And we have a tribal business council that is housed in Browning, which is the government of the reservation. And the town is primarily a farming and ranching town, and a basketball town. I got involved about a year ago when Alexandra got in touch with me because he needed someone to help them with their script that they were writing. He wanted to put some Blackfeet words in there, and he wanted them to be correct. So he asked me if I would help him, and I started doing it then, and I've been involved since.
When Arnaud made the decision to cast Benicio del Toro as the lead in this film, it was a very complicated decision for him to make, and I think it was a very complicated decision for Benicio to make. And then the next challenge was, how do we tell the community? How do we communicate this to the community? The fact that we've cast Benicio del Toro to play a Blackfeet Indian.
Okay, yes, I knew Jimmy Picard, the character, and I knew him from all my life. He was our neighbor, and I lived in Two Medicine, this little valley, and he lived in Little Badger, they call him. And I would go up there and I would break horses for his brother-in-law, and that's where I first met him. And we worked together on the ranch doing stuff, and Benicio has been really, really good to work with, and he has all the actions of the person that he is doing. His movements and his habits, when he talks, he goes like this a lot, and the things that he did, I talked to Benicio about those, and he did use them while he was doing film, and he did really fantastic.
I think Native American, first of all, you gotta understand a little bit of their culture. I think did to an extent. You work with an accent too, and work with that, the sound of it. And then at the end of the day, it's a human being. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a human being, and knowing where they come from, it's important. Make it original that way. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, like anything, I think for an actor, it's like you gotta go with what you know and how much of you can go in that character. And what's important is just be as truthful as you can. And for that, you know, some of it, you know, might come from me more than a book or an article I read. So I think it's a combination of all those things, you know.
The community will react very positively to the movie because it is done in such a culturally correct way. And talking with Benicio and helping him along with some of the mannerisms and the way that Jimmy Picard really was will really help to make. I think I turned him into a Blackfeet Indian, so it will be very well received on that aspect.
Everyone's been fantastic. The local Montana locations people that we've been working with have a great deal of experience in this area, and they've done a great job of working with the people who are here. We're in Hart Butte, Montana, which is very close to Browning. I'm sitting in front of the round hall where Jimmy actually met Jane in real life, which is wonderful.
Here in the round hall, when we first came in, it hadn't been used in years. There was a lot of water damage, so much so that we couldn't actually open the front door to get in. And we finally got the door opened, and like the floor is like this. It's like, it smells like a lot of dead, dying animals. It was a lot of rotting carpeting, and they hadn't been in there or hadn't been able to use it in years. And you know, we've done a lot of work in there. And I had the ladies from across the way come in there yesterday and today saying like, you know, oh my gosh, I used to come in here for dancing. And then another guy come in saying, oh, we used to play basketball in here. And now it feels so nice to, I mean, without sounding completely cheesy, like to give back to the community. It makes us feel really great, where maybe now they'll be able to reuse these spaces that they haven't been able to use in years and years. So that's been sort of an added bonus.
I grew up in Seattle, but I'm actually from this reservation because I am Blackfeet. Coming back to Browning and working on the film was probably the strangest experience I've ever had, because the beginning of my journey was here. And to come back with this type of production, with that caliber of an actor and star, it was, and a director like Arnaud, it's amazing. It's like coming home on a golden chariot.
It just gets to your heart, you know. I don't know how else to explain it. It little by little, it just like gets into your heart. And part of working on this film, I think for me, has been like being able to see this part of the world, this part of the country, the people that live here, and being able to exchange something with them, and you know, somehow they just squeeze your heart, and they're there, and it'll never go away. So I was given an Indian name last night, and now I'm called Red Shield, and you know, so it's an honor. It's an honor, and I hope that I'd like to come back. There's talent here too to tell stories. And I got to tip my hat to Arnaud, to coming out here and creating this film. And I think that hopefully we're truthful, at least.